Okay, so I'm sitting there watching The Simpsons, and as usual, it's kind of like background noise, and then something happens, and it just catches my ear. And several things might happen because this is just something that I do. Okay, so American Dad, Family Guy, Simpsons, and most of the time it's Simpsons, right? So I've seen these episodes up to because after season 19, I've lost interest of the Simpsons. So from season 4 or 5 to 19, it's always something, right? I got plenty of episodes to watch and entertain myself. And normally, what happens is I'll be like, you know what? I've seen this 1,000 times. I never caught that before, or something like this, where it kind of has like a life lesson that's indirect. So they're trying to build a post office. Homer gets mad, starts complaining because Marge is upset too. How dare they build something in our town without asking? Okay, so so they got the post office moved, okay, which they were going to build the post office in the old cemetery, and now they're moving the cemetery to the same spot that they were building the actual post office, and it just dawned on me, it's funny because through life, especially if you're an individual who is trying to accomplish something, okay, everybody is going to tell you you can't do it, and they're always the ones who have never tried or accomplished anything in their lives. Okay, guys, this is life. Okay, you spend your life doing things, and you start realizing what is the purpose of life, and really is existing. Okay, and when you get to the point, especially in you start in your 50s, you start realizing your life isn't chaotic. Your life isn't like filled with problems. I mean, it's filled with problems. Don't get me an idea. I mean, don't get me wrong. But what it is when you're an aggressive person who's always got goals and always accomplishing things, or trying to accomplish things, or trying to change your life, or you're the type of person that is who drives their destination. Okay, all right, the people who are talking to you or you're talking to whenever you have a problem, they look at your life as chaotic. Okay? And the number one statement that you will hear a million times is, I don't know what's wrong with you, because I don't have those problems. And it kind of weighs down on your psyche until you start realizing, well, there's a reason why. Because yes, for every action there's a reaction, but at the same time, okay, whenever you are steering the boat, okay, there will always be more obstacles that appear. Okay, if you set anchor, okay, and just stay there, obstacles will appear, but not until they come past your direction. Okay, traveling around the ocean miles and miles and miles per hour, you are going to the obstacles. Okay? All right? Now, what is the byproduct of going through those obstacles? Learning how to deal with obstacles. Okay? It becomes part of your life. Okay? And you start realizing you can't have one without the other. All right? And what's funny is you start, okay, I hope you start to learn. Okay, you start to learn to ignore these people. Okay? All right? Toxic relationships, which is something I'm really familiar with. Okay? All right? Your spouse or your significant other will keep telling you, okay, why try? Because you have not been able to succeed with this in so long, but that particular person does nothing. Okay? All right, they don't even clean the house. They don't even fix you dinner. Okay, that person is so bent on trying to show you why you're a failure. Okay, and that is their life. Okay, so keep in mind that the more you try to accomplish, the more obstacles you are going to come across because you are traveling. You are moving to those obstacles. Okay? It's you can't have one without the other. Okay? So I just that's the thought that came to my mind, and it was just, and um, when I started the video, I'm going right back to this episode because this is one of my favorites. Okay, because um, you know you interfered with the process. Okay, you could have had a peaceful post office. Okay, but because of your manipulation and interference, now you get a graveyard. Okay, now now, so this is how I'm gonna put this. Okay, you have thousands of graveyards to come your way. Okay, and any time you want to change your life for the better, and it will take 1,000 graveyards before you get your success. You can't have one without the other. I like to call it 360 degrees. The door swings both ways. Okay? You can't have evil without good. You can't have success without failure. And the thing about it is, okay, the only way to get to heaven is to walk the trail of hell. Okay? The problem is, we're stuck in hell for so long, we kind of forget what we were shooting for, what we were looking for, and in the end, when you finally do find heaven, now you have to maintain it. You got to make sure you don't get kicked out of heaven. All right, because where are you going after you fuck up and leave and have to leave and pack your stuff up and leave heaven? Where are you going? Right back to hell. Okay, so life sucks, man. All right, and the reality is, it takes you 10 years to build something and one day to destroy it. All right, so be mindful of what you're doing. Okay, now, after taking a couple of years off and dealing with health issues and stuff like that, I realized I like working. Okay, all right. At some point, you get stressed out. You start questioning why you're doing this. Okay, and I'm going to tell you, it is no shame because I did it myself. I mean, think about it. Okay, I stopped gaming. Okay, I'm doing this 60 hours a week on top of my 40-hour a week work week, and you start asking yourself, dude, what the hell are you doing? Okay, all right, and that comes up. You start questioning yourself, dude. You start looking at yourself as you're insane. Who the hell does this? Okay, but that is life, man. Okay, if you want something, you must travel through the opposite to get it. Okay, failure is the backbone of success. Okay, and why Homer is drinking his beer and other people are drinking champagne in the background, toasting Homer for his, interaction and getting that post office out of here. His gift is the graveyard. Okay, now, last thing being said, when this happens in your life, because it will, okay, whether you're raising children, getting married, going down a career path, getting educated, okay, or a degree or certification, it doesn't matter, okay. Something along the lines, you're going to actually say, this is what I want, and you get the opposite. Because you can't have one without the other. Okay, so there's a risk in everything we do. Alright? So, but if you are self-aware of that risk, when the opposite happens, you'll be like, well, shit, I wasn't expecting that, but, it's life. Life sucks. I'm not shocked. Okay? So, let's figure out how I got here to the opposite side, and let's reflect, and let's see if I do something different, not the same thing, and see if that door will swing the other way. Okay, and guys, I'm gonna tell you, and I've look here. If I had to give any child a piece of advice, now we're talking about the person that if I went back in time, okay, it would be like the Boris the animal. Okay, I didn't do that. You did that. Okay, even though I'm coming back in time to warn myself of what's going to happen because I've lived it. All right, I'm still going to be too stubborn to listen to myself. All right, this is guys. This is what people are. This is who we are. All right. What separates one person from the other is the ones who don't talk about it. They don't mention it. They don't see those flaws in ourselves and realize that hey, that's just who I am. Okay, I can actually tell you things that I've done in the past that I regret. But if I had to do it all over again, I would do the exact same stupid thing. Okay, because obviously it wasn't a strong enough lesson where I've learned from my mistakes, and that's the key. That's the key factor. Okay, when I started doing my mindset from the concept of doing things that I know is stupid and waste of time, someone gave me that advice. You know what? I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna tell you there have been milestones in my CCNA journey from CCNA to CCNE that crap has helped me tremendously and it's changed my way of life, right? Because in our sense of mindset that is dumb, it's a waste of time. Why the hell should I waste my time on that? Because you know it's not going to work. But see, once you say you know it's not going to work, you already made up your mind. Okay, and this is what we do on a regular basis. If you start changing that because of being self-aware that this is a habit that you do, okay, and start doing something that you know what, screw it, I'm gonna try it, okay, and you get a result that you never thought was possible. You're like, okay, now that's interesting, okay, and you start doing this as a habit, okay. I could be sitting there troubleshooting something in networking, and someone could just be like, what about this? I'm like, dude, that one has nothing to do with the other. But you know what? Let's do it for shit, for shits and giggles. And all of a sudden things work. You are so flabbergasted. You open up a Cisco case. You're trying to figure out what's going on. Cisco can't give you an answer because it's working, right? Then you need to be not working in that scenario. This, guys, this is life, okay? And I'm going to tell you, all right, I've had major milestones in my life, which you will too, that has changed me tremendously. Even simple things like reading a passage or a phrase on a whiteboard or somebody's room, okay, that has changed my life forever, okay? All right? And the first one is when I was a kid. And I had read on the school bulletin board, stand up for what you believe in, even if you're standing alone. That has never left my brain, and it has gotten me to accomplish some amazing things in my life that I never thought I could. Okay? The other one was on random doing an HVAC call. And somebody's the people who hired me walked into the daughter's bedroom that doesn't live there anymore, and she had all this stuff. Sorry, I had to shut the door. She had all these statements on the wall, and one of them I had read because I was reading them all, and one of them I read was, "Become the change in the world you want to see." I had no idea who said it, but I know now, but that statement back then had never left my brain as of today. Okay? Alright? You deal with a lot of assholes, you deal with a lot of bad people, and never have I made it an excuse, okay, to be that type of person just because somebody else is. because that's not the world I want to see. All right, it's never left me. All right, those two instances, those two statements, and like I said, it's only happened twice in my life. Maybe another one will come. Okay, who knows? But I'm gonna tell you, those two right there, all right, has put me on a path that, you know, um, at being 50 years old, about to turn 51 here soon. Um, hey, I love my life. Okay, it could be a hell of a lot worse. So, all right, I'm still looking at this, screen capture. I mean, this screen, and I'm going back to my television show. And remember, guys, ladies and gentlemen, please be strong, be determined, be Cisco.